Explain my trade today for futures. Made 1.9 here. Trade recap. I actually entered into one contract on ES and one contract on NQ. First, I started off with figuring out what the daily bias is. So I went down to the 4-hour. And if you look at price here before you get into this, see these 4 lines here. 1, 2, these 4. Before you get to the 4th one, just looking from the 3rd line on to the left, determining what direction, it clearly looks bearish. And on the 1-hour, it's clearly bearish. Then I drew some equilibrium because I wanted to see if price was truly in a discount, because I thought, I had a fair value gap drawn up here on the high time. I had a fair value gap down here on a high time. This is a low time frame fair value gap. And I thought, well, overnight price was kind of in the discount range. So I could see it wanting to come up here, but I definitely didn't look at bias yesterday. Looking at bias today, I clearly knew I was bearish when I drew these black lines here, which were my draws on liquidity all the way over here, looking at draws on liquidity to the downside compared to draws on liquidity on the upside, and price still being in the discounted range. Honestly, to me, realistically, it would have gone 50-50. The only reason why I knew to stick to my bearish sentiment once market open was because price had gone into a fair value gap, I think, on the ES. If I drop down into the 5-minute here, I'm going to take a little bit more time with this one. When I drop into the 5-minute, I saw in the pre-market, actually, prices had hit into this lower gap and respected it and started coming down. But once market actually opened, it went back up. So here in the pre-market, this is the gap. There's a gray gap. Price went in, started going down. So I thought, okay. And then when market opened and went back into this gap, respected it and kept reversing. So it honored this gap enough to reverse back out from it. And this yellow line is a break of structure towards the downside. So now I confirmed that not only was this gap respected, I also recognize that price structure was changed from, was maintained, going downward. So in my mind, I was like, okay, that's going to be bearish. Also, that aligned with my bearish sentiment. And I saw that there were more draws on liquidity to the downside here than there were to the upside, which again proved my bias for bearish. Looking at liquidity, we could also say that liquidity had been taken out what looked like would be for a bullish